Okay guys, I wanted to make a video about shotguns for an SHTF or WROL type situation. And it's a question I'll see quite a bit, what do I think about a shotgun for home defense or, disaster type, the madness. I always talk about, Hurricane Katrina, the post-Hurricane Katrina madness, LA riots, Ferguson, Baltimore riots. You look at, the election, the night after, cars burned up and flipped over, buildings burned up, windows smashed with baseball bats. People were nuts, man. So it's a good idea to have something around, right, to defend yourself. I mean, look at the LA riots where guys got on the roofs of their buildings and homes and, whether they had a handgun, a shotgun, or a rifle, bolt action, whatever they had, just for a show of force. They really didn't have to use it. But suppose you did, if you're going to have one firearm, shotgun, yeah, it's not going to be the end-all firearm, but it's a good choice. And with one gun, you get so much versatility. And hope the lighting's okay. It's kind of a nice day. I love cool days with the light rain. I'm going to probably have a little hot chocolate and whiskey after this, but let's get started here. With one firearm here, you get a lot of versatility. Now, first off, I would recommend something in a 12 gauge, right? It's going to be your most popular. So let's say you ever need to buy more, or you have to trade for more, or you have you're low, you want to swap out something for 12, you're most likely to find 12. It's a very, very popular round. And we'll go over the different rounds. There's different types. With just this one firearm, you get so many types of shells to use, right? Another thing, I would recommend a pump action shotgun. This is not really representative of a typical pump action, but it is a pump action nonetheless, right? You can go with the semi-auto. I know I'm going to have people, oh, my Sega works great, reliability kit. Yes, but you're supposed to switch out some of those internals depending on what kind of rounds you're firing. I just like pump action because, you don't have to switch anything out. I don't want to have to, switch any parts out if I need to do anything. Just, it'll run anything I put into it. This is a Kel-Tec 12 gauge. I used to have a Mossberg pump action 7 round, which is, I love it. I'm going to buy another one, but I thought these would be banned a while back. So I sold off the old shotgun. I knew I can get my hands on that anytime, and bought this, and I plan to get another pump action. But for now, we'll just use this as a reference here. So, typical shotgun, 12 gauge. I've got it, a couple little accessories, light on it, sling, But let's go over the rounds. First off, let's say you wanted to, there's some kind of riot, you're worried about something, right? Here we go. This is rubber buckshot, right? Non-lethal. They also make slugs. I opted for these rubber buckshot, right? So, be a non-lethal option if you needed it. Another thing, birdshot, right? Basically like small BBs packed into the sky. Now, birdshot is no joke. There's some people that'll say, oh, you can't, you would never want to use this for home defense. I'm not sure, man. I mean, shotgun, I would keep one of these in there, right? Because, now hold on, you guys, there's always keyboard commandos. If you take this, and if you blast a piece of plywood, if you blast an old door, right? Whether it's a wooden door or some old car door, just a piece of plywood, and paint that sucker so you can it'll stand out. If you see the damage this low recoil birdshot can do to a piece of wood or a metal door, right? Dent the hell out of it. I mean, you think about that against human flesh. This is no joke. It may not kill somebody, but it will mess them up. You're talking about a bad day, okay? So, birdshot is no joke. You can use this for small game hunting, right? Birds, snake, rabbits, stuff like that, right? It will mess small things up, and I mean, it can seriously mess somebody's day, all right? Now, this isn't your standard buckshot, but I have this up, so, you know, think about the wife too. This is a low recoil buckshot, right? It won't have quite as much penetration as your typical, but that's okay, right? I've got some of the old stuff. I usually fire just a cheap Rio, but here we go, just in case. You know, my wife likes this stuff better, a little pricier than regular buckshot, but, you know, hey, take care of the wife too. So, if she had to, she'd load the sucker up. This is, you know, what we'd keep around. That's more than enough. Low recoil buckshot. Now, for those of you that see my old videos 6-7 years ago, I talk about like this to a 9mm. This is basically, buckshot is going to have like 8 or 9mm size projectiles, right? So, packed up in this case. If you shoot somebody, God forbid, it's like shooting somebody 8 or 9 times with a 9mm, okay? And I said that in an old video about 5 or 6 years ago. And my point was that this stuff, I mean, I read somewhere years ago, and I'm off on the numbers a bit, I'm sure, but it was talking about if you got shot once, right? Say you get shot with a 9mm. The odds of you surviving were like 85 or something, 90%, something like that, somewhere up there, of surviving from a single shot. If you got shot twice, you had about like 70, 75% chance, something like that, of not surviving. So, put that in perspective. Getting shot one time with a 9mm, 85, 90% chance of making it. Getting shot twice, you got a 70, 75% chance of not making it. This is blasting somebody with 8 or 9 9mm at one time. Assuming you get all the buckshot into them. You know, God forbid you ever have to do this. You know, if it's you or some bad guy, you know, or you're protecting your family against some bad guys, man, right here. Right? Typical buckshot would work. Like I said, I just have these. I have a bunch of specialty rounds put aside. But, that would be representative of your buckshot. Then you would have slugs. Single projectiles, big ass piece of lead that fly at you. Now this, again, specialty round, not your typical, but I thought I'd bring it out. I'm going to make this video while I'm checking things out in the safe. This, segmented slugs, right? They bust up on impact. So, there you go. You know, you can get all kinds of specialty rounds for a shotgun. All these types of projectiles will fire out of that same gun, right? So, I mean, buckshot is powerful. Slug is even more so, right? I mean, slugs, you were to fire that, I mean, the slug will go through somebody, you know, go through a center block wall. I mean, it has got some power to it. You're talking about being stuck in the middle of nowhere, man. Oh, Bigfoot, you know, shit his pants if he saw you point this thing at him. Right? He saw you loading slugs into the damn shotgun. He'll shit his pants. Right? It'll mess his day up too. It's a powerful load. Right? And there's so much. There's so many options for shotgun shells. And they're cheap. You can pick up, I mean, your typical buckshot, big old box like that, man, I've bought shotgun shells just plain old in a bit, but I mean, you know, $15, half price of that. And you're talking some good stuff. You can go even cheaper and get, I mean, for, you know, $7, get a cheap box of typical buckshot, right? Real cheap stuff. It doesn't matter. It's going to all shoot the same, right? Now, your typical pump action, right? Very inexpensive. Very inexpensive to use. Simple, right? Now, you know, there's some people say you don't have to aim at all. You know, you got to point in the general direction, and the closer to the target, the better off you're going to be because of the spread, you know, depending on your chokes and all that. But, you know, you're watching this for suggestions. You're probably a beginner, so I wouldn't worry on that. I just say, you know, get yourself a plain old shotgun if that's what you like, right? It's cheap enough to where you can buy shells and go out and practice with it. And you've got a ton of versatility. A ton of versatility with one gun, right? And whether you have like a shotgun with a collapsible stock, where is it? What flips up, the flipping stock, whatever, you can compact it almost as small as this, right? Extend it out, you know, for close corners or something like that. Or unfold the stock for a longer shot, man. I mean, you know, depending on for a shotgun, longer anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to go into that. Just with this one gun, lots of versatility and right, that sound. Everybody knows what that sound is, man. Everybody knows what that is. So, right there, somebody hears that, it puts the fear of God into them, right? They imagine being cut in half or something. I mean, that sound scares the hell out of you. God forbid you ever had to use this thing or use a gun in self-defense. Right there, maybe that sound, you know, hey man, don't make me do this. I will if I have to. And they know you're not kidding. They see your family behind you. They are, hey man, all right, look, you know, you just drop that, go. Right? You put the fear of God in them with that sound alone. Okay, anyway, that's it for me. Just some, you know, I get that question a lot. I thought I'd make a video about it. But you get so much versatility in one gun. The ammo is cheap. The firearms, you know, your basic pump action shotgun, you know, I mean, $300 is going to be probably the higher end, right? You maybe 150 to 300, depending on what you go with, right? And I mean, that is, you can get it even cheaper, get shotguns cheaper used, just basic pump action shotgun. This guy was like $700. I got that a couple years ago. But, you know, I plan to pick me up another pump action. But anyway, there you go. I get that question a lot. I just thought I'd go into it. And my take, yeah, it's something definitely worth having around, right? You're playing basic shotgun, and you can, you know, depending on what kind of shotgun, there's all kinds of different mods you can do to it, you know. Like I said, a folding stock, just a pistol grip on there, which I probably would have something that can fold out to, you know, where you can have a shoulder stock on there. But anyway, you know, to each their own. Like I've said before, people like, that's like chili. Everybody has a different recipe. So however you like, you know, you can tweak it out to your own liking. Anyway, that's it for me. Y'all have a good one. Thanks for watching.